One.
Struggling. Emeline.
And Jakub, King Swing Slam 23, level 3 on a Sunday. And what we explore is just like a different mindset when we dance. That is from a leader's point of view. It's more on giving an impulse, but also observing and listening the response, and then basing the next impulse on the response of your partner.
So we started from the point where the impulse was very pointed and singular, and the response was very far away. So it was like an impulse in the hand, response, observing, then maybe connecting and choosing your next impulse based on what was in that moment as the reaction. And
for followers, just for the road of that impulse, I always want to be it to be very clear and followable for my lead. So I usually really go in the continuity of the trajectory given before, and if I need to redirect, I would try to draw curves, arches, so like the observer from the NS point of view can also follow and predict in the way where it's going.
The arcs are very much more easier for me to understand and to have time than the sharp edges of the movement. And then we narrowed the point of the impulse and the reaction into closer one, which was a physical touch,
yes.
And it was not a point anymore, it was maybe a lead, like a continuous lead, turned into a listening part. So in this moment, I'm not leading Emeline, she's continuing the last information until I find out where the next logical impulse can be.
Yes.
So that was the exercise. You can do it in just the arm, you can also do it closer to what you're used to, so in a close position. You should have it getting closer.
I can so you can also do it like in a close position. We have this exercise also for leaders to do it closed eyes. So you not rely only on the visual, but really like the touch. Like for the listening part, we talked about just a minimal presence that is there. That in concrete terms is, it could be like over compression or tension, but having like a minimal value to it. Like we usually don't have neutral, meaning not existing with each other at any point of the dance, but this is just a preference, it's not a rule at all.
So what do we agree in the beginning of the dance that is our minimum amount of intensity in the point of contact? If I am in the breathing section, then I would like to maintain that throughout the whole movement of my partner. The moment that you try to decrease it or escape it, it starts to be a question mark, maybe sometimes unsafe and confusion. And then we had, just to practice a little bit, we had a pose position, getting into a small promenade. And then from the
But
promenade,
reading what's happening there.
inside turn.
Continuing.
And that was the game of football where I was kicking the ball, but then I was following the ball wherever the terrain takes it. That was the part where leaders will kick the ball once.
But maybe like the follower like start to stay there and
Okay, then actually I cannot do my pattern, so I have to shift it into something else that makes sense at that particular moment. And most of you are doing very good job in this.
and then we did it as well in the whip outside turn.
So we had
Impulse, read what's there. Impulse, read what's there. And then like follower when you were attempting to shape the terrain a bit differently, but because the impulse also gave you the idea of the direction too. What I'm doing is I'm seeking more contact rather than trying to escape to do my motion.
safety, huh?
So safety. So I would like initiate and see then where this lead me, if it's still present or not. It's as if also I would have closed eyes and I want to feel the hand all the way through until we find each other again somewhere.
And I can keep the ball. Followers can never go into places where she feels the leader is not there with her. So if the same case here comes into place and she would attempt to do the same movement, but the leader is not there for her, she would never go into a place where it's unsafe or not readable for me.
So it was like that, idea that when he has contact, and for instance, let's say I'm moving this way, just for the idea of it, I would initiate, test the water, and if I feel that it's going with
Awesome.
Okay. Testing the water, if I feel it's not going with, I'm not forcing it.
Or
Okay.
escaping it.
Or escaping it. And also that notion of not thinking about moving an object, but moving yourself and checking if the object is able to be there with you.
So the idea of not pushing Emeline to go, but
Moving
starting to
yourself.
move myself and my point of contact and see if Emeline is there with me has a completely different reaction response in my part.
Mm.
Okay, that was it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.